All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the TR Schools TV Game of the Week presented by the TREA. Here's the national anthem from Toms River East.
Donovan Catholic Griffins. Will you please all rise for the playing of our national, or singing of our national anthem by Eastville, Kristen Lister, and Jenna Platt.
All right, thank you again here, Kristen Lister and Jenna Platten, two members of the girls basketball team here, the Lady Raiders, with a riveting national anthem from the TR Schools TV Game of the Week, presented by the TRA. Again, Casey Kennerkowski with Joey Del Deo, Eddie Wolf, and Jarrett Weiss. Tonight here, we've got the lineups here being announced here. The playoffs begin right here on Raider Way as the 2016 Shore Conference Tournament kicks off with the 13th seeded Toms River East Raiders hosting the 20th seeded Donovan Catholic Griffins. Now, when you look at these two teams on paper, they are so similar that they could be twins. Both squads are senior laden. They both have experienced some tough losses, and both have some marquee victories to their name. But fellas, this is the playoffs, and all it takes is one stumble and you're out. So Joey, with all that being said, let's start with the visitors. What does Coach Mike Carney need to see from his squad to advance?
Well, first of all, Casey, the Griffins need to, most importantly, get off to a fast start. In the past 5 games, they've really struggled in the first half, so they're going to need to change that mentality to go up against this fast-paced Raiders offense. Also, they're going to need to create turnovers with their effective guard play, led by seniors Kevin Singleton, Riley Collins, and Marcus Rosario. And lastly, they're going to have to use their senior leadership and their depth to try and defeat the Raiders here in the first round of the Shore Conference Tournament.
Yeah, those guards kind of remind you of Louisville here with the full court pressure. Now, Eddie, what about Toms River East? We haven't seen them in about a month here, but very experienced squad, 13-5 record coming in.
Yeah, well, long time no see for Toms River East, and they're really going to have to score in transition. They usually take Donovan Catholic about a quarter, maybe 2 to get really into things, so they're going to have to really score quick and get an advantage early. They're going to have to use their bench to full potential, and the people that you're going to have to watch out off the bench is Cole Robbins, Zaire Dorn, and Tim Cook. And also, you got to get these rebounds. You got to keep Donovan off the glass. So the big guys that you're going to need big games from is Bailey Englehart, Brian West, and Pat Saunders.
Yeah, absolutely. And both these teams so evenly matched. You watch the papers here, you listen to guys like Kevin Williams, Itzar Luca, and they think this game could be so tight we might need a little extra time here, some overtime. So we're going to have to see. Donovan Catholic in their blue uniforms, Toms River East in their home gray. It will be number 42, Bailey Englehart, on the tip, going up against number 2, Kevin Singleton. Our officials this evening, Jim Bowe and Bill Hobson. Here we go, first round of the Shore Conference Tournament, and we're underway. Tip goes to Donovan Catholic. Inadvertent whistle there. Teams will play on. There's Singleton up to the top there to McShay, number 44. Driving in is Maul, and Maul with the first basket of the game. Jethro Maul here, 2-0 in favor of Donovan Catholic. Inside, no good on the layup. Rebound to Boyce. Now, Boyce, that's an interesting story, right?
Absolutely. We saw back in the WOBM Christmas Classic, he broke his hand, and 2 weeks later, he's already back out there on the court performing in the starting lineup. So that's definitely hard competitiveness from the senior.
Right there as he gets a layup. 4-0 early here in favor of the visitors. Eddie East has to settle down, get into an offensive rhythm.
Definitely, and right now on defense, well,
Right there with
goes
West.
the offense with West, but really Boyce, he's been taking advantage of Carlos Lingat, very short guy, and while he does have a lot of skill, that height though, and you really can take good advantage, and so far, him playing in the paint hasn't worked out for East.
Yeah, East going a little full court pressure here. Minute into the game, 4-2 in favor of Donovan Catholic. Ball over to Boyce, guarded by Carlos Lingat, number 12. Hands off to Collins, the big name shooter.
And Casey, we're seeing early those guards that I said, they need to show effectiveness and play very competitive, and they're doing that just right now to start this game off.
Got a little mismatch coming up here. Inside McShay, trying to take down Engelhardt, spinning, good double team. Flips it over to Singleton, blocked away. Out of bounds, and it will stay with the Griffins. Positive defensive possession, though, for the Raiders.
Oh, definitely, and that's how they're going to do it. Going one-on-one, Donovan Catholic has that advantage with the height. So East, they're going to have to really play full court pressure as they have. The zone defense, it's not going to work as much, and that's why they've been doing the full court pressure.
Boyce over to McShay with an 18-footer, short. Long rebound, tracked down by Saunders right in front of us. East looking to tie the score.
A big name for East is Phil Lingat. He's going to have to show up. He is the star player for East, and you're going to expect a lot from him.
West stepping through there, a charge. Looked like number 3, Riley Collins, stood in his way. Got his feet set. Good call by the officials.
And you can tell, guys, this is going to be a good one. Raiders coach Jim Dempsey, can already hear him over there on the bench, fired up for his team. And
oh, he's ready to go here. 2 real competitors here, Coach Carney of Donovan Catholic and, of course, Coach Dempsey from the Raiders. They both want to win, both want to advance, with the winner of this game likely facing the Mariners of Toms River North. Loose ball. Boyce can't find it. Tracked down by Carlos Lingat. Great play.
And that's what I was talking about with the skill. While he's not the tallest guy, and actually he's the shortest guy, he can get those steals. Comes out of nowhere.
Saunders with a left-handed hook shot, no good. Rebound to McShay. Flipping it up, gets it past the defense. Can't finish, though, is number 11, Jethro Mall. The Raiders get another opportunity. Carlos Lingat swinging to his brother. Phil going through the lane, gets fouled on the way in, no basket. They're going to say the foul occurred on the floor on the drive.
So for East, they've technically never been a big free throw team, but if you are going to get somebody fouled, you want it to be Phil Lingat. He's the guy that you're going to want to get the free throw shots. He is their best shooter at the line.
Right there inside, tried to go up over. Boyce can't get it. Saunders finishes it off and ties it up at 4.
you can tell right now both these defenses playing exceptionally well in this first quarter, being able to shut down the best players for each offense.
Yeah, so far Collins really hasn't gotten any looks for Donovan. The Lingat brothers, not so much either. Singleton dribbling around, trying to get it inside to McShay. Backing down Engelhardt. Took one too many steps. Good defense there by Engelhardt. And that was probably the one thing we saw when they played against Southern and Toms River South earlier in the year, was that Bailey Engelhardt was a tenacious defender.
Oh, absolutely. And you see the big body of Engelhardt, 6'5", definitely their tallest player, and he definitely uses that to their advantage out there on the court.
Stolen away by Singleton. Going in, left hand, gets the contact against Saunders, and we'll have our first free throws of the night at the 4:21 mark.
Now East, you're going to see Don Cath. They're going to be taking a lot of shots at the free throw line. East, they do play that very aggressive defense, but it does lead to a lot of fouls, so Donovan Catholic better be ready to take a lot of free throw shots, because that's where they're going to have to be getting a lot of their points today.
Absolutely. Speaking of Collins, right, number 3, one of the best free throw shooters at the Shore, as Singleton hits the first. Carlos Lingat going out for the Raiders. Coming in there, Zaire Dorn.
Zaire Dorn, he's been the real breakout player for East this year. Nobody expected him to be like that. Had a great season so far off the bench.
Singleton is 2 for 2 from the free throw line, now 6-4 in favor of Donovan Catholic. Full court pressure. That's why it's important to make your free throws, right? You get in that full court press coming out of the made free throws.
Absolutely, and if you make those first 2 free throws, that's a nice confidence for himself. And being the team's second leading scorer, that's not a bad guy to get to the line early in this game.
Engelhardt with a 3, and the Raiders surge ahead. Their first lead of the night, 7-6, halfway through the first quarter.
Obviously, home court advantage, Casey, being a factor, but also the crowd getting pumped up, and nice shots like that from Engelhardt definitely have the confidence and the momentum on their side.
Inside, one too many steps there from Maul. Second straight possession.
Definitely, and Donovan, they're going to have to be watching that because it's not the first time they've done that, and I definitely feel like it's not going to be the last time. They got to watch those extra steps they're taking. It definitely kills them, and these lost possessions, that could hurt you at the end of the game.
Yeah, the officials here want to make sure the possession arrow is facing the right way. Obviously, Donovan won the tip here, so next jump ball would go to Toms River East. 3:30 to go here, first quarter. Raiders up 7-6. Pretty much a defensive struggle so far.
Absolutely. You see, as this first quarter rolls on, not many of the star players for either side, as Saunders gets the bucket there. Not many of the star players to keep players, scoring in this one so far. It's been, like you said, defensive game up to this point.
Yeah, great spin there by Saunders, 9-6.
And with Saunders, he's the true hit-or-miss player for East. When he shows up, he's one of the most dangerous players on the court. And so far, he's been hitting his shots, which is something that's been really well for him.
Yeah, West may have rushed that 3, trying to get some points after the turnover. Going in, there's Collins. Collins right through the lane. 9-8.
And there he is. There's the star player for the Griffins right there, putting up his first points of the night.
That time he didn't have a lane. He created that lane there. Engelhardt just barreling through, boys. 11-8. It's going to be a physical game tonight, fellas.
Now you can see they're starting to get in their groove. Now you can tell it's going to be a good one.
Pull-up jumper. No good by Singleton. Big rebound by West. Those are some of the keys we were talking about how East here had to make sure they boxed out. Right there, offensive rebound. West couldn't finish. Flips it up, almost hits the official. Collins tracks it down. Stolen away by Saunders.
And with the rebounds, that's one thing that East struggled throughout this entire season, getting the rebounds from offense and defense. And Coach Dempsey, that was the number one thing he would work with the team, and it's definitely paying off so far.
West trying to back down, flips it over to Engelhardt. Engelhardt from the corner for 3, he got hit. Really bad play there by McShay to come over and foul a 3-point shooter. So now Engelhardt will earn 3 from the free throw line.
The interesting thing about Engelhardt is he's their tallest player. He's their center of the team, yet he takes the 3-point shots a lot. That's something you don't see every day with the tallest kid on the team going for the shots and getting the most rebounds. Little interesting fun fact.
So Engelhardt goes to the free throw line. First time the Raiders have gone to the line tonight at the 1:44 mark here in the first quarter. Toms River East up 11-8 on their home court.
And obviously, being the foul was behind the arc, he's going to get 3 opportunities instead of 2. And this is a really good chance right here for the Raiders as he hits the first one to definitely open up the gap a little bit more against the Raiders.
Wait, this is something kind of a trend for Toms River East. You look at it, 10 of their 13 wins were by double digits. And then 4 of their 5 losses were by 5 points or fewer. So if they're in a tight one, it'll be bad news for Coach Dempsey, but if they can open up a lead here, and I think that's why they're trying to go with these 3-point shots, trying to open up an early lead. As he hits all 3, 14-8.
Connor Robbins will come in, and Pat Saunders will get a good break.
Yeah, Saunders, a couple big defensive plays there for the Raiders. Let's see how Robbins does. He's currently guarding Collins, the star player for the Griffins. McShay over to Boyce. Trying to get him free. There's Collins coming off great high pick play here by McShay to free him up. Cuts the deficit back to 3, 14-11. Engelhardt going to try to spin on McShay. Over him, off glass, 16-11. Not terrible defense, just a better shot.
And Engelhardt already with 10 points this game.
We see a steal there by Robbins, 18-11. Off of Boyce's foot. We've seen a couple poor mistakes here by the Griffins the last couple possessions. That's what the Raiders can do to you.
And looks like out here the Griffins, Raiders playing a lot faster paced, and Griffins can't seem to handle it. They seem to be a little, getting in their heads a little bit there.
That's why the Raiders go to it here. They're so good at speeding you up here and forcing you into mistakes. Ball on the ground, picked up by Collins. He's got numbers. Floater, no good. Rebound to McShay, gets fouled from behind. I think they're going to get Engelhardt on that one. So McShay will go to the line with 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Fairly clean game, just 3 fouls for the Raiders, only 2 for Donovan.
And this is the senior forward McShay's first trip to the line as he hits the first one.
And Zaire Dorn, he will get a break now, and Carlos Lingat will come back.
One more at the line here for McShay.
And another substitution for East. Tim Cook will be coming in.
In and out there, so McShay only converts on 1 of 2, 18-12. Would not be surprised if the Raiders tried to hold it for the last shot.
Absolutely, they can either play conservative and hold it,
West
or
going
try to
in.
attempt it and play aggressive.
Tried to be a little aggressive there. He's lucky he didn't get called for a charge because he just barreled through one of those Griffins.
And Tim Cook will come in, and Bailey Engelhardt will get the breather for the rest of the quarter. And you also have Zaire Dorn come in, and Phil Lingat will get the rest for the rest of the quarter now. So East, as I said, they need to use advantage of their bench, and so far they have.
Yeah, so far doing it pretty effectively, keeping up that defensive intensity by keeping those fresh bodies out on the court. Right there, a walk here, exactly what happened there was one of the Lingat brothers, I think it was Carlos, right up in Boyce's face, and he had nowhere to go. Kind of that deer in headlights look with the ball.
Absolutely, and all he could do was attempt to shoot it, ended up throwing it out of bounds on the air ball, but it seems as though, Toms River East will regain possession on that one.
Yeah, 5.7 seconds to go. Let's see what they do.
It might have been a short break on the bench, but Engelhardt is back and Tim Cook is back on the bench.
Phil Lingat going in. Perfect play. Can he get it? Oh. Perfectly designed up, but Collins couldn't convert on the 3. So at the end of the first quarter, Toms River East holding an 18-12 lead over the visiting Griffins of Donovan Catholic.
And as we noticed, Casey, with this first quarter, I said earlier in the game that the Griffins had to get out to a fast start because they've struggled in the first half. Not playing terrible basketball right now. Their defense started to fall apart a little bit as that quarter went on. But luckily for them, their best defense comes in the second quarter. So we're going to have to see if that trend continues here tonight.
Well, yeah, Donovan's scoring about 12 and a half points a game in the first quarter. So they're right where they want to be. The problem is they're giving up here far more than they usually give up. They only give up about 11. They've given up 18.
So for East right now, they just got to keep getting the trade points, and they just got to maintain this lead because once Donovan gets real hot, it's going to be tough for East to maintain with their speed. Right now, East are playing really well for themselves, and they just can't make stupid plays, and they just got to keep up the strong work.
Yeah, Donovan hasn't played poorly. They just haven't seen a lot of shots fall. As we see the one change for Donovan, they bring in number 0, Marcus Rosario, another one of their guards. Stolen away by Donovan. Big screen there by McShay. Collins can't get it to go. Rebound by West. So far tonight, Collins just hasn't been able to get into an offensive rhythm.
Absolutely. Both teams struggling. Not what we usually see on offense, but they're going to look to try to recover from that this quarter.
Phil Lingat going in. Blocked away by Boyce. Collins ends up with it. Flips it up to Singleton, who lays it up and in for an easy layup. 18-14. That was just way too easy.
Dylan, when you have that full court pressure, sometimes you can get that lucky lob pass right into a wide open teammate.
Yeah, what we're seeing there is why Collins is so good here, because he just creates opportunities not just for himself but for others. Great rebound into West there. That was Saunders who made that happen with the offensive rebound and the second chance opportunity going to West.
That's Donovan. So far they made some really silly passes, and that's one of them. They're giving East easy points.
20-14 Raiders. 6:30 mark here, second quarter. Now Saunders is back on Collins. He gets around him. A lot of contact, and I think they're going to get it on Engelhardt. We'll have to see.
And you saw there, that's number 3, Riley Collins, the senior guard, surrounded by a sea of gray jerseys, and he'll take his first trip to the line for the night.
Yeah, first one on Engelhardt. Team's 4th. We'll see Collins going to the free throw line. No surprise he hits it. An 86% free throw shooter on the season.
Absolutely. And when you're the second best free throw shooter in the entire Shore, you know you're doing something right up there, Casey.
Well, we've seen on this court here players, Weinert from Southern, as he misses it. Mark that in your calendar. That doesn't happen that often. Collins 1 of 2, 20-15. Phil Ingat driving in, tough take. I mean, on the defensive side of the ball for Donovan, you can't make it much tougher than that. Just an excellent offensive play.
3 men. I don't know if you'd call that a floater or a layup. A little bit of both. That was a really good shot by Phil.
Boyce right through, couldn't do it. 3-on-2 for East. Going down like a layup draw. Floater by West. And he goes in. 24-15. This lead's starting to swell a bit for the Raiders.
And we see here, as this game goes on, the Raiders, their offense is dominated, and they don't seem like they're going to be looking back anytime soon.
Right underneath Rosario's hands. He had to reach for that one. Turnovers galore for Donovan.
Right now for East, it's all smiles. They're really fired up. And Donovan, it's the exact opposite of what I just said East is feeling like right now. And it's not looking good for them right now. And they got to change up the momentum right now. It's not looking good.
Yeah, that's why they're taking a timeout. 30-second timeout here at the 5:44 mark here in the second quarter. Coach Carney wanted to talk it over with his troops here, down 24-15.
And absolutely, this was the perfect time for Coach Carney to call a timeout. The Raiders definitely getting in their heads. You can see the fast-paced offense is affecting the Griffins' defense, so they got to try to get back in the right mindset quickly before this game turns into a blowout, before it's even halftime.
Well, yeah, because this is the danger time here if you're Donovan. You want to be able to make sure, you get back in this one, because it's like the tale of 2 different teams in the sense that Donovan usually struggles and then they come back here, but sometimes you can get down so much here that it doesn't matter in the second half here because it's just so insurmountable.
Absolutely, and the one positive, the one silver lining for Donovan Catholic is that seniority that they have, the experience that they have in that starting lineup, to know that they don't usually crack under pressure. They can definitely come back from this.
Filling out with a 3, no good. Rebound to Rosario, who lost it for a minute but then got it back. Rosario trying to go in. He got caught, partially deflected by Phil Ingat.
There was very good defense there by Phil Ingat blocking Rosario's shot.
Inside to Saunders, left hand. Gets the shooter's roll. Only the home team gets that kind of roll.
The suspense of the ball bouncing.
26-15 in favor of the Raiders. Largest lead of the evening. Blocked away again. Lingat, second time Phil Ingat in a row. He's blocked the Donovan's player's shot. Got to watch the trap. Stolen away there by Collins in the corner. Collins going full court. Up and in. Timeout there by Coach Dempsey now, as he wants to converse with his players. Want to make sure they get on the same page here at the 4:35 mark.
And there we saw the senior Riley Collins, definitely the star for the team in blue tonight. 7 points for him, and also playing very well defensively with a steal and a defensive rebound. So he's an all-around stud for them tonight, but he seems to be their only star player tonight. They have to have more guys in the starting rotation and on the bench start to contribute more if they want to come back from this big deficit.
Well, yeah, they're going to go to their bench here, and they make effective use of it. The hard part is that when you do have so many players, you got to figure out what the right combination is.
And the good thing about East is they're a fast-paced team. This might be the fastest they've played all season. They've stepped it up a notch in this game, and they've just been outspeeding Donovan in every which way possible so far.
Here we go. Let's see what they set up coming out of the timeout here. Trying to work some motion. Into Lingat. A lot of contact, no call. And Saunders with another second chance opportunity to make it 28-17. I don't know about you fellas, but I thought Lingat may have gotten away with a charge there.
He may have, and so far the refs, they've been letting a lot of plays slide. Notice that changed a little bit later on in this game, but right now, there hasn't been a lot of calls.
Yeah, that one right there, though, going against West. We see some subs coming in the game for the Raiders.
Yeah, you have Zaire Dorn coming in, and you have Connor Robbins coming in as well.
Here we go, 4-minute mark here, second quarter. Raiders 28, Griffins 17. Mile over to Singleton. Back up to him, trying to get the mismatch underneath to McShay rather. And they're gonna say that was a kick ball off of Engelhardt. Will stay with the Griffins.
So that was a very lucky break there for the Griffins. Barely tipped off of Engelhardt's foot. And if it didn't just hit off his toe, that would have went right back to the Raiders.
As I mentioned, East getting some lucky calls all of a sudden. There's the curse of the announcer box. As I say something, everything against East. Another one just going against East.
Yeah, that was beautifully designed inbounds play by Donovan. They got Boyce open, he couldn't finish it, and then McShay couldn't finish it from point blank range either. But they're gonna get another opportunity with a quick East foul. That's 6 now on the Raiders, so the next one it will be a 1-on-1 opportunity. Knocked away by Lingat. They'll try it again.
East are being too fast. Donovan's passes aren't fast enough to get past East. The reflexes have been well for East so far.
Gotta watch 5 seconds here. Flips it in. Boyce somehow comes up with it. That one, another great hustle play there by Saunders to strip it away from Boyce. And another turnover there by Donovan.
And you know, that's something I mentioned earlier in this game, to create turnovers. But so far tonight, they are the cause of the turnovers. They definitely are playing not as clean as I'm sure they'd hope to play, and they have to definitely improve on that as the second half is coming up.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be the other way around here. Donovan causing the turnovers, but it's been the Raiders all day. West goes up and in. No good. Rebound to Singleton. Little up and under move there by West, just couldn't convert on the basket. Collins pulls up from right in front of us. No good, rebound to West. So far tonight, Collins, he's only hit that 1 3-pointer, and that's it.
I mean, East, they haven't been taking a lot of three-point shots. Even though that they don't have the size, they haven't been letting that get to them this game. And that's something that East, they have to do going forward. And I've always said it every game that they verse teams with taller players and they just keep taking the three-point shots. When they wouldn't land, that's missed opportunities. Now they're going for them. And yeah, they're not going to get every shot, but they've been getting a lot more than they would be with taking threes. So far at East, they're at 1 for 5 today at the three-point shots.
Yeah, jump ball there. We'll go over to Donovan Catholic as they try to get this back to single digits. Down by 11. Full court pressure coming from the Raiders.
I'm sure that's the last thing the Griffins want to deal with right now is more pressure. They've been pressured enough by the fast-paced offense of the Raiders. I'm sure they want to try to get back in their groove and, you know, control the tempo of the game for themselves.
Mal gets trapped down there, but flips it over to Boyce for an easy bucket. 28-19. Raiders pushing the ball up the court, trying to get a reverse layup. Robbins just missed it there, and it'll go off out of bounds and will stay with the Raiders.
Billy Engelhardt will come in, and Connor Robbins will now go back onto the bench.
It's the critical time. 2:19 to go here in the first half. Donovan down by 9. Lucky for Lingat to get the ball back. Quite fortunate there. Saunders over there to Carlos Lingat, trying to get Phil open. Phil, nice give and go with Saunders, left hand, can't finish though. Rebound to Singleton. Donovan running. Singleton trying to go right through Lingat. Offensive foul. Great job by Phil Lingat to step in there, give up his body, pick up the charge.
And that was a very nice play by none other than number 14, Phil Lingat, for the Toms River East Raiders. Definitely the star of this team, and I'm sure we all know a fan favorite here for Raider Nation.
Yeah, Raider Nation's been a little bit quiet tonight.
Yeah, so far with Raider Nation, they've just kind of been quiet, keeping their mind. They got in trouble a few games ago, so trying to be a little calmer now.
It's only when you see a call not go their way that they begin to get rambunctious over there.
Doesn't everybody though? I mean, come on.
Can't argue with that.
Dorn driving the baseline, and he gives it right back here. That time it was Collins stepping in. 3 against 3.
Seems almost as though Collins nearly got stepped on over there as he ran by, but luckily no harm done.
Well, he pretty much knew Dorn was going baseline because the Donovan defender overcommitted to the outside, tried to blow by him, and Collins, being an experienced player, just stepped in the lane and gave up his body, took the charge.
Absolutely, and he knew there was risk in that move, but as a veteran player, you know you got to take chances like that, and it paid off definitely well for him.
Yeah, Collins guarded by Saunders here, 1:15 mark. Flips it over to Mile. Mile going through, up and under with the right hand. 28-21. That Raider lead that was 11 now cut to 7 as we have a 1 minute mark. Enter the 1 minute mark now here in the first half.
And slowly but surely, those Griffins are climbing up from that deficit.
That time going to be a foul. Reach in on Donovan.
Donovan, all of a sudden, they've been doing a good job at stopping the East offense. They slowed down East tremendously from the beginning of this game to now. East, I don't know if it's either them getting tired, Donovan starting to adapt to their offense, or both really.
Yeah, much tighter second quarter as West 3's no good. Rebound to McShay. Oh, tough play there. Singleton and West here got tangled up. Incidental contact as Collins continues to drive, and he'll go back to the free throw line. You know, sometimes you say here it's better to foul a guy, right? Make him earn it at the free throw line. But Collins is going to make him more times than not.
Absolutely, and like you mentioned earlier tonight, an 86% shooter at the free throw line, the second best in the Shore. That is one of the last guys, obviously, you want to be sending to the line, and he shows why right there, hitting the first one.
If East keeps following him tonight, by the end of this night, he might be number 1 in the Shore.
Well, I think the guy who's top of the Shore has got like 90% here, so he's going to have to hit a lot of free throws. It's both here, so now that lead that was once 11 for the Raiders down to 5, 28-23, as we'll play out the closing 40 seconds of this first half. West thinking about driving, wisely brings it back. Engelhardt trying to drive, spins, short, rebound to Phil Lingat. He gets fouled. I think they're going to get Rosario underneath as he came and mauled him from over the top. So Phil Lingat goes to the free throw line.
It seems as though Coach Dempsey has switched from more of an aggressive offense to a more conservative, time-consuming, clock-eating offense, as they're not taking as many shots as they were earlier in this game. They're trying to hold the ball more, pass it around, definitely chew up clock, and it's been working well for them.
Lingat can't convert the first. We're going to see some subs here for the last 30 seconds. As West checks out, Tim Cook coming into the game, the 6'6" senior for the Raiders.
And Phil Lingat missing the shot. That's something you don't see much from him. While he may not be top in the Shore, he still makes a lot of his shots.
Makes up for it on the second one, so Lingat goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. That lead now 29-23 as they go into their full court pressure. Trying to trap him. Loose ball picked up by Robbins. Robbins goes in, draws contact, and the foul. Look at that. 3-point play opportunity for Mr. Robbins.
Robbins doing a great job tonight, coming in and taking advantage and doing great with the full court pressure. He's been grabbing these steals right from the inbound, and he's been red hot when it comes to getting steals tonight.
And I certainly don't think Raider Nation's quiet now. every single fan getting on their feet here after that beautiful play.
Robbins loves to be robbing those balls.
He misses that one. Okay, Eddie. There we go. Last 15 seconds in the second quarter. It can't go fast enough. There we go. We're going to pull it out for Collins. Guarded by Cook. 5 seconds. Flips it over to Boyce. Boyce going in. A lot of contact. He gets fouled with 2.4 to go. Go to the free throw line. Let's see who it's on. They're going to call it on Phil Lingat.
This is Boyce's first trip to the line. This will be their 9th and 10th overall shots tonight.
Yeah, big play there as he misses the first one because Phil Lingat now 2 fouls. The last time down the court for Donovan, number 11, Jethro Mall, he picked up his 3rd foul. So that's something to keep in mind here as we go into the second half.
Absolutely.
So East, they're trying to set up, no matter what happens, they're going to try to get to West to get that final shot in. Let's see what happens.
Long rebound. Tracked down by Dorn. Launches it, but it was partially deflected there by Collins, and that's how the first half will end. The Raiders up 31-23 here at the home of the Raiders here on Raider Way. And fellas, here it was pretty action-packed here. Good defense. A couple of shots went home. A lot of offensive rebounds for the Raiders. What are some of our takeaways from that first half?
Well, for the Griffins, I mentioned 3 key points earlier in the game, and so far they haven't really touched upon any of them. Sure, as the second quarter rolled on, their offense started to roll a little bit more, but they weren't creating many turnovers. They were the cause of most of the turnovers. They weren't using much of their depth. Their bench hasn't really contributed much, and really it's just been the Riley Collins show. He's been all over the court here tonight, and they definitely need some supporting cast around him if they want to pull up a comeback.
Yeah, they definitely need to get off to the fast start that we would think that they would need in this kind of game. And Eddie, the Raiders here really got out there. The big thing, probably that full court press.
Definitely, and that full court press, it's been working really well, and it's been stopping Donovan Catholic. And usually it's their offense that wins some games, but it's been their defense that has really been pulling away. Yeah, their offense has been good like always, but it's the defense that has been the MVP. And the big thing that East is going to have to do in the third and fourth quarter is not change anything. It's actually keep up the mentality and keep everything the same. And that's going to be the big goal for East, is to not change anything. And if you are going to want to try to change something, try not to get as much fouls. But if that means have a lesser defense, then I think East would rather give up a few fouls here and there.
Yeah, both these teams here, experienced coaches. They know what they're doing. They're going to draw up a game plan to make their teams try to succeed in the second half. We'll just have to see which team comes out on top. Again, at the end of the first half, score 31-23 in favor of the Raiders. But that's not the final score, so you're going to stick around for the second half right here on TR Schools TV. All right, folks, welcome back to the TR Schools TV Game of the Week, presented by the TRE. Casey Kennerkowski, Joey Del Deo, Eddie Wolf, and Jarrett Weiss. Getting ready to start the second half here of this first round action of the 2016 Short Conference Basketball Tournament on the boys' side. Donovan Catholic and Tomsville East, Raiders with a 31-23 lead. And Joey here, what are some of the things here we want to look at for the Griffins starting the second half?
Well, Casey, what we want to look at is more contribution from their bench. So far, it's all been Kevin Singleton, Riley Collins, and Mike Boyce contributing to the Griffins' performance tonight. They haven't had many points, if any, coming off of the bench. So that's their main focus that they need to improve on in the second half, is more depth play from their depth.
Yeah, as he starts with the ball here, Jarrett, what do we expect to find out of them?
Well, East, what they want to win this game tonight, they're going to have to use their speed. But at the same time, they're going to have to slow down their game because they don't want, the one thing that Mondon wants is they want to speed this game up and get East tired and get them off their game. East is to slow it down and get in the game where they want it to be. And they also have to get Phil Lingat heavily involved in the game though, because right now he's playing on his back, and that's the reason why they're winning right now.
Yeah, talk about 2 baskets right there. 1 basket by Donovan Catholic by Boyce, that one a floater by West. 33-25. And that's the one thing Donovan can't afford. They can't afford to trade baskets back and forth here in the second half. It doesn't get you anywhere.
Absolutely. Both sides need to cut down on the turnovers. Both teams had a decent amount in the first half, so that's another thing. Less sloppy play, for lack of a better term, for both sides in the second half.
Yeah, great sidestep there by Singleton as he drives to the lane. Cuts the lead for the Raiders down to 6. West driving inside, throws it up with 2 hands. Look at that. 35-27. Both teams combined 4 for 4 here to start the second half.
Couldn't ask for a much hotter start for either side, Casey. Definitely both teams went into the locker room knowing they need to improve on something, and so far it seems like they've both answered the call from their coaches.
Inside, drive there by Collins. He's starting to heat up. Chance to cut into that Raider deficit even more. Raider lead even more.
Donovan Catholic's defense can't let West get to the basket like that. And that's the whole reason they're down right now, and I don't know. This is a playoff game, and this is a whole other atmosphere, and they can't let that happen.
Yeah, but you know what, though, in that first half, Jared, we saw that as Riley misses another one. Surprising there, missed 2 today. We saw in that first half, Donovan couldn't get into the paint. Tonight, in the second half, now they're starting to get in there.
Yeah, they definitely want to get down to the paint, though, because they're definitely going to have to push the East defense and get them on their toes, because if they don't do that, then what's the point?
Yeah. So Carlos Lingak going to the free throw line here. Tried to do a little dipsy-do dunkaroo there underneath. Unsuccessfully, but he goes to the line.
Dipsy-do dunkaroo, I like that.
Yeah, well, Dick Vitale,
Oh, we should use that more often down here. But absolutely, it was a nice play there by the senior. Although he couldn't convert, he did get a chance to the line. Misses the first opportunity, so let's see if he can make up for it right here.
And he does there, Joey. 36-29. 2 minutes into this third quarter. Saunders guarding Collins at his hip. Trying to get inside. Moss slips it in there to Boyce. Bad pass. Goes out of bounds and will go over to the Raiders.
Gotta stay in sync.
And one thing I'm surprised about, Casey, is that the Griffins are yet to use senior center Eric Broughton. He's their best low post defender, and at 6'8", he is definitely a dominant force in the paint defensively. So I'm surprised they haven't called his number yet as this game goes on.
They may be saving him for the fourth quarter. Stripped away there. Collins forced it. Now he's leading the fast break up to Singleton and one.
Joey, 100% agree with what you said before. Yep. Donovan Catholic, they're getting Singleton, Collins, and Boyce involved in the game. What they're not doing, and the reason they're down right now also, is they haven't gotten McShay or Broughton in the game at all yet. And collectively, I think what they've scored 1 point together at halftime. So they need their 2 big men to get into this game right now.
Yeah, it's been all guards here for Donovan. As Singleton converts the 3-point play, all of a sudden you blink, and now that Raider lead down to 4, 36-32. So we hit the 5:30 mark.
And you can see both teams, like we mentioned, came out storming out of the locker room for the second half. It seems like the Griffins definitely playing like they're still in this one. They still definitely have the energy, as Lingat scores the bucket there. Definitely have the energy and the mentality to come back in this one.
Yeah, if you like offense here, this is their second half for you. Inside to McShay, backing down Engelhardt. Inside, gets it to go. Both teams trading baskets here the first 3 minutes of this third quarter. 38-34.
You can tell they both definitely want to win this game.
Yeah, the winner of this one, as I mentioned earlier, likely to face Toms River North.
A very good team.
Yeah, Toms River North, very good team. East, the last time they played them, a 1-point heartbreaking loss. So they can run with them. West with a 3. No good. Collins, the only guy in the lane, gets it. Flips it up. A little too quick there.
Donovan Catholic's passing so far hasn't really been on point. like I said, they got to get in more sync if they want to get back in this game right now.
Yeah, they were down by 8 at the half here. They've cut that deficit in half to 4. And that defensive intensity, Joey, really starting to show as we see it right there. Collins stripping it away. Contact, no call. Gets the bucket though. And now a ticky-tack foul there on Collins the other way. Much to the chagrin there of Coach Carney and his staff.
Very quickly right there, you saw the high and low of Riley Collins. Definitely with the beautiful steal and the fast break score to make his point total 14 on the night. But then the sloppy foul right there just took all that momentum away. Let's see if the Griffins can bounce back.
Oh yeah, on that take here to the bucket, there was a lot of contact, but Collins may have tried to oversell it too much.
You can be the star, but you can't put the team on your back this early in the game. They're going to have to lean on other players. He can't do this all by himself.
Good fake by Lingat. He gets fouled going up. We'll have to see who that foul's on, as Boyce and Collins were both in the area. They're going to give it to Boyce, his first. Collins has 2. So that would have been huge if the Raiders could have drawn that third foul halfway through the third quarter here.
Absolutely, and that would have definitely been a huge player for Donovan Catholic to lose early in this one. So lucky break, I guess you can say, for the Griffins.
Yeah, Lingat gets the first. And, Jared, will be very interesting to see if East goes into that full court pressure again, where they had so much success with in the first half.
Yeah, definitely. And they definitely want to get, what they want to do really is slow down the game right now. That's what they really want to do. Because,
because Phil Lingat here making both here 40-36. And we see it right there on the other side of the court. Causes them to have a turnover. The Griffins turning the ball over.
You saw Boyce pleading his case there, but he cannot win, as like you just said, Raiders will retain possession.
Carlos Lingat breaks out from the scrum. Smartly decides to pull it back. Phil Lingat will set it up. Trying to take Boyce. Inside, no good, gets his own rebound and puts it up and in.
That was beautifully aggressive play by Phil Lingat.
100% commitment to his own shot.
Yeah, Phil Lingat here making his own opportunities there, cleaning up his own miss.
There's no better player on this team to do it, Casey. Absolutely.
Travel right there, he palmed it. Goes over to the Raiders. And this kind of underscores Donovan's season here, where they started off 10-3. They had a great run. They won the first 4 games. Then they lost 3 in a row. Then got 6 in a row that they won. Then lost another 2. They had a 3-game losing streak before winning their regular season finale. So it just kind of plays into the idea tonight, where they've had stretches where they've been really good, and then the last couple minutes where they've been playing really poorly.
Well, absolutely. Their season may not have been the hottest season for Kearney's Griffins. Win streaks here, losing streaks there. But tonight they have not played poorly. They've definitely kept up with this fast-paced Raiders offense. But as of late, as this quarter continues to roll on, more sloppy play, more penalties, more turnovers, and that's something that they have to cut down for the fourth quarter and for the remainder of the third quarter, because they're definitely still in this one. They just got to keep the right mindset and keep their heads in the game and not lose focus of a W at the end of the night.
You know what? Donna can't. They can't look at their wins and their losses. Right now, they have to play in the moment. They're in the playoffs right now for sure conference, and it's a whole other mindset. They got to make it work for them.
Yeah, do what you need to win. Look at that. Right in front of Raider Nation. Phil Lingat driving through the lane like a man.
He is the man, Casey. He is definitely the man here for Toms River East. And like I mentioned, Raider Nation, they love him.
Phil Lingat with a 3-point play opportunity. Flew right by his defender. Up and under another one. If he makes this, it could be a 9-point lead again for the Raiders.
Just as we saw as the second half ended, a dominant lead by the Raiders. As, like you mentioned, it is a 9-point deficit now. And Griffins, what they just need to do, like I just mentioned, keep their heads in it and try to get themselves back in this one.
45-36, 3-minute mark here in the third quarter as Boyce lays it up and in. 45-38. They're going to need a lot of that production down the stretch if the Griffins want to stay in this one. West trying to drive, Rosario closing out his lane down the baseline. Phil Lingat pulls up. Of course it goes in. Phil Lingat on fire in his third quarter. Good travel there by Singleton.
He's burning up the court right now. He really is on fire.
Yeah, right now Lingat single-handedly taking over this one.
Absolutely. He's the star for the Raiders, and he's definitely playing like it tonight.
Got to get it in. Smart to call the timeout there. 30-second timeout for the Raiders.
Don Catholic has no answer for Phil Lingat right now. I don't know what they're trying, but whatever it is, it's not working for them.
You know, that's the odd part, because if you look at the way East has defended the star player on the Griffins here, Riley Collins, number 3, Pat Saunders has pretty much shut him down for most of this game. And then on the flip side, you see here where Lingat here, he's had various defenders on him the entire night, and nobody seems to be able to have that lockdown mentality against him.
And you think with the height that they have, that they would be able to stop him in some way, but they can't.
No, just a great, sometimes you can't stop great players, and he's one of them.
Like you mentioned at the beginning of the game, Pat Saunders, the X factor for the Raiders. Collins has in fact had a successful night, their team's best player, and he's definitely going to have to be the leader for the Donovan Catholic as the night rolls on.
Trying to get Dorn open for a 3. Can't get him. Rosario all over him. Phil Lingat with the ball. Guarded by number 33, Mike Boyce. Going through the lane, sidestep. They're going to call a charge. I don't know about you fellas, we had a perfect vantage point on it. And I thought he hit him from the side, not straight on.
I mean, from the angle that we're at, we can't really tell as well as the refs can. That play could have gone either way, and they went in their best interest right there.
You're right there. First thing to go against Phil Lingat and the Raiders in his third quarter. Almost a double dribble there by Collins. Boyce again up and in. 47-40.
Boyce is starting to perform well. He now has double-digit points on the night.
Let's see, they need a stop here. A couple stops and it gets you in the game. Engelhardt no good. Rebound there by Boyce. Let's see if Donovan can continue to do it. Stolen away by Dorn. That's why you got to keep your hands up in those passing lanes.
Nah.
Phil Lingat will set it up here. 1:15 mark, third quarter. First round of the Shore Conference Tournament. Donovan Catholic and East. Raiders holding a 47-40 lead. Over to West. Thought about it. Drives in, pulls up. Left hand. No good. Rebound to McShay. Collins going the length of the court. Flips it over to Singleton. Easy bucket. Now that Raider lead down to just 5. 47-42. West for 3 right in front of Raider Nation. No good. He's starting to throw up some quick shots here. Got to be careful.
Like I said, they want to slow this game down, because right now, like I said, the Griffins are doing exactly what they want to do. Putting a fast pace, getting East off their toes and on their toes, and making this a close game. Because right now it was just 9 point. They just had a 9-point lead, and now it's only 3.
Griffins back to within 3 as Collins poses like Michael Jordan for that one.
And as the third quarter went on, you saw momentum definitely on the Raiders side, but it looks like right now Donovan Catholic starting to take a couple plays out of Coach Dempsey's playbook here. They're definitely playing much faster, more aggressive, and they definitely have the Raiders on their toes defensively. And Riley Collins has been unstoppable tonight. 16 points for him, the team's leading scorer, with Boyce and Singleton right behind him with 11 and 10 apiece.
Yeah, right now trying to figure out the foul situation. Singleton was down there and Rosario was guarding the defender. It will go to Rosario, his second, team's fifth, as the Raiders will inbound the ball here right in front of us with 20.3 to go. Inside to Aguilar, can't finish, but West cleans up the board, earns a trip to the free throw line.
And that may be what Toms River needs to get their momentum back, to get back in this winning mentality, because right now it seems like Donovan's pulling them apart defensively and at the ripping them apart at the seams almost. So nice trip to the line by West, missing the first shot there, as I mentioned that. And they just need to get click back again on offense the way they have all night long.
Yeah, they need to convert from that charity stripe.
Cooking for Phil Lingat.
Here we go, West one more. That was the third foul there on Collins, number 3. As West converts, makes it 48-44. Inside of 20 seconds to go here, third quarter. Full court pressure, they got Cook at the top. Nice job of breaking it by the Griffins. Inside to McShay. McShay with the left hand. 48-46. Let's see if the Raiders can get a quick bucket here. Carlos Lingat flips it over to West, who launches it. No good. Rebound to Rosario. Not a bad heave. Almost took out Kevin Williams. So at the end of 3 quarters, we got exactly what everybody predicted around the shore. A tight one here between the Griffins and the Raiders. Toms River East currently nursing a 48-46 lead. Their lead was 8 at the half, now down to just 2. So Jarrett, how did they do it? How did Donovan come back in that third quarter?
They use their speed. They used they actually used East speed against themselves, because they got East, they tricked them into speeding up the pace of the game, and now East is in this predicament where they were up by 9-10 points, now only up by 2, and they only got 8 minutes to seal the deal and go on to the next round.
We had a big deal. They got a couple players in foul trouble, especially Phil Lingat, who now has 3 fouls. Star player for the Raiders tonight.
Definitely, and while he's been destroying it on offense, defense hasn't been the best. And East, they kind of swapped what they were doing in the first half. Their offense has been great, but their defense, it's definitely declined. And the third quarter, it was definitely an interesting quarter for Donovan, as they started out real hot, then Phil Lingat went on a tear and brought East the lead right back, and then he started to cool down, and so did East again, and then Donovan
going through the lane, sidestep. They're going to call a charge. I don't know about you fellas, we had a perfect vantage point on it. And I thought he hit him from the side, not straight on.
I mean, from the angle that we're at, we can't really tell as well as the refs can. That play could have gone either way, and they went in their best interest right there.
You're right there. First thing to go against Phil Lingat and the Raiders in his third quarter. Almost a double dribble there by Collins. Boyce again up and in. 47-40.
Boyce is starting to perform well. He now has double-digit points on the night.
Exactly what everybody predicted around the shore. A tight one here between the Griffins and the Raiders. Toms R East currently nursing a 48-46 lead.